The numbers told the story. They always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gill Alexander on VSiN.
Good. What is it, Tuesday morning?
Tuesday!
Yeah, it's a numbers game. Good start.
Taco Tuesday.
The Sports Betting Network. Visa.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, Sirius XM Channel 158. It's Gill Alexander. That's Kelley Bydlon. There's a roughly 5,473 Taco Tuesdays around the country. Someone had to do it first.
Someone did.
You think that person is bent? That they didn't copyright it, or are you allowed to do that? Or is that
wasn't there like a LeBron thing about this too at some point?
Taco Tuesday specifically?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna have to look this up.
LeBron
I'm gonna have to
claims
look.
that he owns-
Yeah, like at some point, if I'm remembering the story correct, he partially claimed ownership of that. I'm gonna have to double check my facts here. But
breaking news coming over that 1 out of 4 NFL players, it says, can get CTE. I'm gonna push back on that study and say 4 out of 4.
I agree.
Can get CTE.
4 out of 4, anybody can get CTE.
That's right. We might get CTE before the end of the show. Not that it's a laughing matter, but that's a weird headline.
Yeah, I read it the same way.
Pete Fuitak's going to join us this hour. I was going to say, speaking of CTE, that didn't seem like an appropriate transition. Pete Fuitak from College Football News, get his thoughts on the college football season. By the way, Dave and Jensen, the By the Books host, By the Books, Dave Ross, Captain America, Jensen Lewis, the closer. They just had Ryan Kramer on from the Sports Gambling Podcast.
That was great work.
Did I hear that correctly on the way in? He has Virginia Tech winning it all?
Was it winning all or ACC?
ACC followed by them winning it all.
There you go. 500
to 1. See if Pete agrees with that or not. Drew Dinsick's going to join us, talk NFL and U.S. Open. We got a tennis podcast coming up this week after the draw. Let's go. Mark Borchard, Major League Baseball later, and Jeff Erickson. Always great to hear from Jeff when he has the time to join the show. Talk NFL. We'll talk real football. We'll talk fantasy football with him. Got your fantasy football questions lined up?
Yes.
You are lying. I can tell you are lying right there.
Rank wide receivers 1 through 6.
That's a good question.
6.
Maybe you should ask him that.
Exactly 6, Gil.
6 randomly 6. Yesterday, tennis split the dogs. Renata Sarasua won the first set against Clara Towson as big +2, whatever dog, +2 something, I can't remember anymore. She won the first set, and then she just got rolled after that. But Diane Paris, your girl. She came through last night, late night. That was a long way to split dogs and make 35 cents last night. It's a long day for that. Today, and this is, usually our tennis bets are dogs, big dogs, short favorites. This is a very odd sort of day for us. We have 5 plays. These are strewn. Any chance you get to use the word strewn, you got to take it. These are strewn between Winston-Salem on the men's side, Monterrey on the ladies' side. 3 on the ladies' side. They're all favorites. Zhang Shuai, -125 versus Maria Timofeeva. Anna Bondar, Hungarian. Anna Bondar versus Kristina Buxa, -130. Daria Vidmanova.
Oh, there's a name.
-145 versus Kimberly Burrell. And then on the men's side, this is in Winston-Salem, North Kakalaki. Rinky Hijikata, +102 versus Rafael Collignon. And Contina Lis, -149 versus Benjamin Bonzi. So those are all 5 plays. Again, all day long. North Carolina, Mexico on the run-up to the U.S. Open draw, which is this Friday. And then the Open itself, the last slam of the season, begins on, I believe it's Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. And
looking forward to the U.S. Open pod, man.
Oh, man.
Always.
Well, I appreciate you listening to that, because
I listen to every one of the Grand Slam pods. I think they're great. I think they're great because you, Drew, and Zach all do things just slightly differently.
Totally. Yeah, exactly.
And I love the different perspectives from that. Just to piggyback off that compliment, I hope people take the same things away from long shots as well.
What I was just about to say.
I always think that's interesting, and you guys are you 3 more so than me, Matt, and Wes. But I love hearing the just slightly different perspectives, and often you guys run into head-to-heads sometimes.
Head-to-heads, and then sometimes we have consensus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then sometimes we don't even mention the name of the person who ends up winning the tournament, like Marketa Vondrasova, your girl, at Wimbledon a few years ago.
Big old tats.
But as Drew said, why would we have mentioned her?
Hey, Gill, I got to the bottom of my research, and thanks to John Lund for helping out. LeBron James AI says LeBron James made Taco Tuesday a viral internet catchphrase in 2019 by posting enthusiastic, high-pitched social media videos shouting the phrase with his family. His attempt to trademark the phrase was denied, leading him to later partner with Taco Bell for a 2023 ad campaign.
I was going to Taco Tuesdays in San Francisco in the 90s.
I know.
Stop it.
I remember when he first started doing it, that was everybody's reaction. Like, does he think he just came up with this?
Later today, I'm going to the trademark office to patent the word "the" and see if that goes through.
There you go. Good luck.
Like, that's exactly the same theory. Like, you came up with that, dude? Most wins, August. We got a little crunchier last night, got a little tighter. Phillies lose. Padres had a chance to tie them. They lost in extras to the Buccos. So it's Phillies 16-6. Remember, this is most wins month of August. Padres 15-7. And then how about the Red Sox, Cubs, and Rays all winning to get to 14 wins? How about the Red Sox? You remember them from the previous month? They're 2 wins back now with the best run differential in the month. Our Tigers, our 60-1 Tigers, continue to not understand the assignment. They are going the other direction.
Get it together, Detroit.
Yeah, that ends up being of all the 5 this year, that ends up being the worst. Hey, guess we could.
All right, Cubbies are 2 back.
What they would call a letdown spot for us after July.
Yes, classic letdown
Your Cubbies
spot.
are 2 wins back. Yes.
2 wins back. And now, at what point is it appropriate to start sweating this? Like, it's August 25th, and I'm not even letting myself get excited about it.
Oh, you should get excited. I mean, because you also have... No, that's the Red Sox who have 1 extra game. You don't have 1 extra game. You're at 6 games left. The Red Sox and Brewers have 7 games left. That's more applicable to the Red Sox, who are only 2 wins back as a thing. Could you imagine the Red Sox go back-to-back on this?
That'd be insane.
But anyway, that's the current standings. Mark Borchardt has the Phillies. He'll join us later. I know he's excited about that. Not sure what his number was, but we'll get into that a little bit when he's on. I did make 2 bets yesterday.
Oh, you did? Real quick, though, shout out to the VSiN Primetime gang on their way to Hawaii right now, watching us on the plane.
Travel safely, guys.
Yes.
Travel safely.
I don't know if it's the whole crew, but Justin Emery just sent me a picture of us on a back of a airport.
All courtesy of
airplane.
All courtesy of Rainbow Athletics.
That's right.
Everything they do, they have to say courtesy of Rainbow Athletics. Because that's who it is courtesy of. So I did make the 2 bets yesterday. Travel safely, guys, for real. Enjoy your trip. Nick Bonito, Defensive Player of the Year, 14-1. This was available at every spot yesterday at this number. I know Danny Higgins in his final week here on a numbers game and at VSiN, he got Nick Bonito at a better number. Folks were saying you could get Bonito on prediction markets at 22-1 as late as yesterday. Guess what we don't have access to in Nevada?
Prediction markets.
Ding, ding, ding. 14-1, best I could do. I wanted to get in on Bonito. He had 14 sacks last year. I mean, he does it all. But in terms of the sack column, he ended up with 14 last year. There was several, I mean, it was about 4 or 5 guys in front of him. Most notably, of course, the great Myles Garrett, who set the NFL single-season sack record last year with 23. But I just think he's the best. Again, apologies to Patrick Surtain Jr. I have to say Jr. because I watched his dad in his prime play great corner for the Dolphins. Patrick Surtain Jr., with apologies to him, Nick Bonito, best player on the best defense, I think, in the National Football League. And then I guess I have to apologize to the Texans for saying that.
All right, I'm going to ask a question. I'm not pushing back on this because I told you yesterday that if I had to make 1 bet in that market, it would be Bonito as well. This has kind of come up with Comeback Player of the Year as well. Slightly different, but I'll bring up both. Bonito, does the name hurt him? When we talk about the top of the Defensive Player of the Year odds board and just the names that are on it, the Myles Garrett and Will Andersons and just these recognizable pass rushers.
I would have said last year, if you had asked me this 365 days ago, I would have said yes.
And it was a question a year ago.
Yeah.
But he kind of followed it up and had a big enough season.
I mean, I would like to think that NFL awards voters will not have this problem. Can I at least hope for that?
No, me too. I would say the same thing. Now, the Mahomes question I think is interesting too. Is there still enough of a question or mocking of the Comeback Player of the Year award that they would never give it to a Patrick Mahomes because it's almost an insulting award?
Possible. I kind of get that.
You get that?
Like, are we really going to give Patrick Mahomes Comeback Player of the Year? Seems a little weird, right?
It seems a little weird, but like that thinking should not come into play either, and I'm terrified that it will.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a single bet on it yet, but you know me, I'm sure at some point during the season I'll have a comeback player here.
Get to Diana Rossini and try to impact the whole voting.
That's right. That's the key.
Do your work. The other one I have, Kelley, this one was my first pick in our NFL futures draft, the VSiN NFL futures draft. I had the fourth pick. I made the bet in real life yesterday. Caleb Williams, regular season passing yards leader, 20-1. Now, this one is, every which way. This will probably be the bet that I'm going to add to our VSiN NFL betting guide 2.0. But again, let's start with the comments of Ben Johnson, who stated already his goal for the offense this season is to surpass the 2013 Denver Broncos and have the highest scoring offense ever. The Broncos in 2013 averaged 37.9 points per game. Okay, I love hearing that.
Yep.
But the real basis for this bet is great hearing that. But it's also the fact that not only did Caleb Williams flirt with 4,000 already last year, I think for the Bears, it's a big deal for them to finally have. This franchise has never had a 4,000-yard passer. So I think it's a confluence of those, the Ben Johnson comments,
agree,
that franchise record, and the fact that they have the worst defensive DVOA projection this season. One of the biggest lopsided offense first projections our model has ever spit out, according to FTN Sports. In other words, gap between the offense and defense. Remember, with their defense, 18.3% of Chicago's defensive drives ended in a turnover last year. They had the highest turnover rate of the 2020s so far last year. They went 9-0 in games where they had multiple turnovers and 3-7 in games they didn't. Why do I say all that? To say that stuff regresses. And so I believe that defense, after 2 years of favorable turnover luck, is going to stinkola. And therefore, the offense will get as many opportunities as possible in terms of the sport of football we all love and know. Because I think if your defense stinks, you're going to have just that much more time on the field as an offense. All of that for the Caleb Williams play. Coming back. You're here because you want an edge. That's what separates listeners from winners. But let's be real, mindset alone doesn't get bets home. Pros win because they've got the tools, the data, and the discipline. And now so can you. VSiN Pro gives you access to the same real-time insights the sharps use. No secrets, no fluff, just actionable info that moves markets. Tap the link and see why serious bettors are turning knowledge into profit with VSiN Pro.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
College football's back. The NFL season's just around the corner. Now's the time to get your edge with VSiN Pro. Next week, our updated NFL betting guide drops with post-preseason updates, week 1 betting systems, content strategies, updated best bets from all of VSiN's experts. Sign up today. You also get instant access to our college football betting guide, plus daily best bets, real-time betting splits from DraftKings and Circa, AI-powered prop projections, and 24/7 video on the VSiN Watch app. Start for as little as $9.99. That's $9.99, or save 50% with a VSiN Pro annual subscription. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe. Now that's VSIN.com/subscribe. By the way, so a couple other things about the Bears defense, about my Caleb Williams passing yards leader at 20-1 this year.
Please continue.
Bears defense had an 11.1% DVOA on first and second downs, 26th in the league, but they improved to 9th best on third and fourth downs. And the point of that is that first and second down, much more predictive heading into the next season than our third and fourth down performance. Turnover rate, third down defense, as I just mentioned, tend to regress heavily towards the mean the next year. Chicago recovered 10 of the 14 fumbles they forced on defense. Remember, they had a very high fumble recovery rate in 2024. Anyway, you get the idea.
Yep.
That's why I'm all in on
good rush attack, too, which I think helps out here. 9th in points per game and yards per play last year. 2nd in plays run per game. We don't talk about pace often in the NFL.
Ben Johnson's big on pace.
You're on that bet. I'm on the over 415.5 total points scored by the Bears. So same sort of thinking. Let's get the defense out of the picture.
Ben Johnson, Canadian sprinter, big on pace also in the 80s.
Boom. There you go.
Might have been enhanced, but they had that in common as well. Couple things. One, Big Ten saying this morning, yeah, you know that thing about 5 for 5 and players coming back after they put on an NFL uniform? Big Ten says no can do. They're not doing it. I immediately pictured Lane Kiffin. We were talking about Moneyball a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
The scene where Brad Pitt as Billy Bean says to Jonah Hill as Paul DiPodesta, but his name was Pete in the movie. He says, do we care how somebody gets on base? No, you do not. And I pictured Lane Kiffin in his office going, are we in the Big Ten? No, we are not, sir. So it doesn't apply to him.
I had this conversation with a couple people like off air about Lane here over the past 6 months. Like I was covering FAU almost on a daily basis when he took over that job. Say what you want about Lane Kiffin, good, bad. That guy, I've been listening to him the past couple of days. Like, that's Lane Kiffin. Like, he's going to use whatever is available to him to win football games. And I think if you're a fan of a school,
God bless him,
or you're part of that fan base, you got to love that part of it. You might not like the way that he goes about it or he talks about it, but man, he looks to exploit anything he can to go win games.
Yeah.
And he did it in Boca and turned that program around and reset his entire career. And now he's at LSU with all the money in the world.
He did it in Boca.
Del Boca
Vista. Let's do a heat check on I should say Major League Baseball awards. The top 4, of course, the 2 MVPs and the 2 sides. We do this every week. We got less than 5 weeks left in the Major League Baseball season. Which are the 2 that are donezo? I'm going to be a bit of a broken record here. Which are the 2 that I think are still in play? American League MVP. Let's just start there. Yordan Alvarez, Houston Astros, minus 2,000.
Done or not done yet, Gill?
Done. Done. Did it's done.
So Bobby Witt went plummeting down this board.
Bobby Witt was never a thing this year. I'm sorry, people. I know defense. He was never a thing this year.
This is like
he was not in this award.
First time I'm looking at like these odds actually like in a week.
Yordan Alvarez again leads the American League in all 3 Triple Crown categories. Now it's getting dicey a little bit on the Triple Crown categories, but with less than 5 weeks left, he still has a .320 batting average, 36 ding dongs, and 90 ribbies. Those are all number 1. 436 OBP, 613 slugging percentage. He's got number 1 in all the slash numbers. He did fall to number 2 in hits and number 2 in runs. He stinks, but he's winning MVP. At this point, because there's just nobody else who has stepped up in a manner that could take it from him. That's the other big factor. So Yordan's winning AL MVP.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, right. Yeah. That's been probably the biggest factor, the past 6-8 weeks?
There really isn't a case for anybody else, in my humble opinion. But remember, we were saying this when he was short plus money and short minus money just about a month ago.
Yeah. What happened? He continued to do what he was doing, right? And then nobody else stepped up.
Nobody else stepped up in a way that, he's trying to win only the second Triple Crown since 1967.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. All right, NL MVP, Gill Alexander. Crow Armstrong, minus 190.
Yeah.
Done or not done yet?
Not done, but I will say what I have been saying the whole time. Again, sorry about bringing a broken record, but I think it still applies. These voters, because they are human beings, just checking, they are human beings, correct?
Yes.
Still. One day, maybe they won't be. But today, they are still human beings. They are going to look for any reason they can any of these years to not give it to Shohei. What I mean by that is, do they hate Shohei? No, they love Shohei. But they are plagued with this possibility. Again, Barry Lamar Bonds won 7 MVPs. Shohei's got 4 already, American League, National League combined. Shohei is unlike any other player we've seen, not even Bonds, right? He's his own thing. And so you are faced with the prospect of giving him 13 MVPs when all is said and done. Just making up a number. But seriously, double-digit MVPs. So for any possibility, any chance, any opening you get to not vote for him, I think voters will take. And so far, right now, again, less than 5 weeks left in the season, I think Pete Crow Armstrong is correctly priced at minus 190. Shohei does have the better slash numbers at bat, batting average, OBP, and actually slugging. Pete Crow Armstrong actually has better now. So not correct. Pete Crow Armstrong has 3 more homers than does Shohei. He has 3 more RBIs than does Shohei. He's got, what is it? How many stolen bases does he have? He's got 23 more stolen bases. His collective WAR, if you believe Fangraphs WAR, if you're into WAR, that's your thing. If that's your cup of tea, if that's your bag, if that's your jam.
Your jam.
8.7 WAR versus Shohei's combined pitching and hitting WAR, at least at Fangraphs, of 7.1. Now, Shohei did pitch 85 2/3 innings of 1.79 ERA ball earlier in the year. And I know, I don't want to get tweets. People, what's Pete Crow Armstrong's ERA? I completely agree with you, right?
Yeah.
If human beings were rational, I still think Shohei Ohtani wins MVP. This just in, human beings, was it Todd Wishnev's first line, on his first day on the show, one of his lines? Human beings, worst invention ever. They are not rational beings. And so I think Pete Crow Armstrong, all things equal, if you put all that in the wash, if that's what they determine, that all things are genuinely in the wash, kind of equal, they'll give it to PCA.
And also there's because of the pitching, right? This is a little it's a little weird of a way to go about this, but there's some recency bias here, right? And I really enjoyed a conversation I was listening to on the Fantasy Degenerates podcast with our friend Byron Lindeque. They were talking about PGA Tour Player of the Year, kind of making this case of like, okay, Wyndham Clark wins last week. Like he's got 3 wins, including a major. Probably going to get it done. But everything's happened in the last 2 months. And if you look at the beginning of his season, it was a disaster. I think Byron made a really good case of Scotty Scheffler all season long is great. He should never lose his award. Scotty Scheffler, Shohei Ohtani, though.
Matt Brown. You say Shohei Ohtani,
Shohei Ohtani, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, though.
It's similar case. You're just going to look for every year. If he's not amazing throughout, they're going to get punished for it.
It's a good parallel. Matt Brown, in your absence last week, had a good point, which is, what if Shohei's 85 2/3 innings of pitching, instead of being early in the year, was transported to now?
He's winning this.
That's right. That's how stupid we are.
That's how stupid this is.
But I think that's going to be the case.
And that's what I was trying to say with Wyndham Clark. If all those wins came the beginning of the year and then he was crap right now like he was earlier in the year, we'd be talking about Scotty Scheffler winning that award.
NL Cy is dunzo. Jacob Misiorowski's minus 1,400. These are all number 1 in MLB. Forget NL. Kelley, these are all number 1 in MLB. 1.68 ERA, 152 batting average against, 0.76 whip. 77 hits allowed, 27 earned runs allowed, 216 Ks, 39.3% K rate, 5.5 WAR. All that number 1 in MLB. Chris Sale, great season. Christopher Sanchez, great season. Sorry, guys. It's just not. If Jacob Misiorowski does not win the National League Cy Young Award, there should not be an award.
Yeah, honorable mention, though, to Chase Burns, who feels like he's been top 5 in odds since week 2 of the season.
Yeah. So have Sale and Sanchez. I think the big one is AL Cy, though, where Cam Schlittler, the pricing is the closest, right, of the big 4. Cam Schlittler's minus 165. Dylan Cease is plus 140. I know Matt Humans, for real-life bet purposes, and also the MLB Futures Draft, hoping Schlittler gets there. By the Tom Tango numbers. Tom Tango has correctly picked 32 out of the last 38 of these. Schlittler 71.3, Cease 63.1. Cease's ERA in his last 6 road games is 0.21, giving up 1 earned run in 42 2/3 innings. But guess what? He also plays home games, so it's not quite that way across the board. But Schlittler, advantage in innings pitched, advantage in wins by 3, advantage in ERA, 2.16 to 2.37. Cease, advantage in total number of Ks, 209 to 193. K rate, 36.1% to 30.8%. Earned runs allowed exactly even, 38 apiece. But again, Tango's formula is really about the baseball card stats. Innings pitched divided by 2 minus earned runs, plus strikeouts divided by 10 plus wins. It ain't about the other stuff. And so my hunch is, unless Cease has another flirtation with a no-hitter or an actual one, nod to Schlittler. I don't know if he's minus 165-ish right now in real life, but he is a favorite, I think, for sure. Coming back, Pete Fuitak, college football. It's a numbers game.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Rainbow Authentics. Authentics, Kelley. Authentics.
That's right.
And VSiN are taking the bets to the beach. Tim Murray, Matt Humans are heading to Hawaii for a special edition of VSiN Primetime, live from the Sheraton Waikiki Beach Resort. Wow. Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, plus a beach edition of the College Football Betting Podcast, breaking down all the Week 0 action on Thursday. Don't miss VSiN in Paradise, live in Hawaii, Wednesday and Thursday, August 26th and 27th, only on VSiN. Good for those guys, man.
You know what? Two different sunscreen levels when you talk about Tim Murray and Matt Humans.
Tim Murray's going to need an SPF 150.
He's going to need a high one.
And Matty Humans just wants an oil.
Pretty sure Humans has not put on sunscreen in about 30 years.
Just give him some oil.
That's right.
I don't even know if that happens.
Ready to go.
Who do you think uses less sunscreen, Matt Humans or Greg Peterson? I'm going to go Greg.
Cool. I'm going Humans.
I think no. Greg runs 12 miles a day with nothing on. That is kamikaze.
Well, it's gonna sweat and get in your eyes. I get it.
Okay.
Neither one of them do.
We get tweet speed of the book. Hey, Tronsky. Hey, Gill. Has anyone spoken to Adam Burke about this new portal window and when he might be able to release his college football guide version 12.3 with updated rosters, rankings, and breakdowns? What a nightmare. I'm sure he's pulling his hair out. And then a lot of people sending in these LeBron James files to trademark Taco Tuesday reports from back in the day. It was 2019 when he filed, as you said.
Yeah, thanks to people sending that in.
Yeah, A-Rail, thank you for that. Who else said that?
It was Bama Sluggers did. I forgot how ridiculous the story was. Basically, he went to go trademark the term Taco Tuesday because he was having so much fun using it with his family and teammates. He was scared that eventually someone was going to come and sue them. So he wanted to get out in front of it just to make sure nobody could get the trademark, I guess.
That sounds like a ridiculous strategy.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long time. Actually, let me read this tweet to sort of transition into him. This is from Grant, Betting X Factors. It says, Ryan Kramer, who was on before you with By the Books, who I alluded to, graduated from Vatek. Homer bias alert blaring. He said ACC does seem wide open, however. Ryan Kramer from the Sports Gambling Podcast. He says, not only is Virginia Tech gonna win the ACC, he says Virginia Tech is winning it all. They're going to get through the gauntlet of the playoff. We haven't spoken to this gentleman in a long time. I won't say a year, but it's been a while. He is the proprietor over there at collegefootballnews.com, a trove of college football information. It is the great Peter Fuitak, who you can follow on Twitter at Pete Fuitak, FIU. That's Florida International University, TAK. What's happening, Pete?
Oh, you threw me into a stress craze here just hearing about the idea of having to update a print magazine or a print publication or any he's doing the Lord's work, man. This is the weirdest year ever to try to come up with a preview, because not just that everything's changing on the fly, but you have teams like, how do you really handicap a team that has like 65 new players from the transfer portal on it? You know, we're getting this right off the gate where North Carolina, TCU, and Ireland, well, last year they had a whole new roster of players under Bill Belichick. He didn't like those guys, so they're all gone, and in comes a new 50 plus players to try to make this happen. How do you have any clue how you make this all fit together? So it's everyone's flying by the seat of their pants in this new fun world of college football. And
it's up to the minute right now. Now guys who have suited up for preseason games in the NFL are headed back to college. We saw that with Daquan Wright yesterday. I guess the broad question for you, just macro as a college football guy, is, do you embrace all of this, or are you one of the get off my lawn kind of guys who are like, I shouldn't say it like that because that biases it, or do you long for the good old days, I guess I should say?
No, people make way too much of it. I do think it should be, put the college back in college football. It is weird when you have, 44-year-old, men playing football on a college campus and things like that. But look, it's for the game itself, it's better. And everyone has to remember, like, I had a friend who's not really into college football who was looking at, like, some picture of, like, the old Miami team that had Jim Kelley and Bernie Kosar and Vinny Testaverde. He's like, wow, these are, like, the greatest passers ever. And they all hit like 50% of their throws for the Hurricanes. I mean, like, the quarterback play is at the best level in the history of the sport now because everyone has one. And the actual level of play overall and the games themselves have been boosted up. So the game's better, but it loses that college feel, because at this point, if NFL guys are coming back, I get it. Some people are kind of like, well, why am I watching this when I can just watch the NFL and watch the guys who are actually really good at this? But for the most part, it's a positive. And you know what? Once the ball gets kicked off, nobody cares.
Odds to win the national championship. By the way, cicadas or crickets, we're not sure who's making the guest appearance here.
Yeah,
We're going to get a ruling on that. Odds to win the national championship. Ohio State, Notre Dame, co-short shots, if you will, at 6-1. Texas is plus 650. Oregon plus 750. Georgia plus 850. And there's Indiana, defending national champions, rounding out the single digits at 9-1. Where do the Fuitak rankings differ from this board?
You want to talk about changing minute by minute? Ohio State, I think, is going to rip through everybody in the regular season. At least they have an absolutely brutal schedule, but their talent level on offense is so unfair. I mean, it's Ohio State. This is the place, with JSN and Garrett Wilson and Marvin Harrison Jr. and all the great wide receivers. This group of wide receivers that they have now might be the best in college football history. Wait do you see Chris Henry's kid, Chris Henry Jr.? He's the freshman that's going to come in. He's next. I mean, right next to Jeremiah Smith and Brandon Innes, and now you have Julian Sayin throwing to them. I mean, that offense, they're going to let it rip this year. So they're going to rip through everyone. But it's, first of all, can you get to the college football playoff? And then can you do something when you get there? So when you're asking this when it comes to, who can actually win it. At the moment, it's Oregon's world. I think they're way overdue to get that one extra win. Notre Dame has everything in the bag. And Indiana's pretty cheap. They're really good. The one problem with Indiana is they had absolute perfect health luck last year. And if they get through the college football playoff process, by the time we get to January, that bunch is going to have played over 30 games of college football, which that's just a lot without, getting through without a bunch of major injuries. So there's so many teams that are national championship worthy this year. And so I think it's going to make for a better year overall because you do have 10 teams that can legitimately win it all.
Okay, let's go beyond those 10 teams. What's the team either via conference championship or maybe they don't win their conference in a big in a power conference, but you feel like if they get into the playoff, they would be set up to go deep? What's the team that is not among the usual suspects that we should be thinking about?
So among that group, though, and it is kind of in the usual suspects, but it's down the mix a little bit. I cannot wait to see what LSU does. I know it's a usual suspect, in general here, but with what Lane Kiffin's doing to bring this thing back, they loaded up. He's ahead of the game here. He's the one who's getting the Daquan Wrights. He's the guys who's getting the guys back from the NFL. He got the transfers coming over. Sam Levitt, the former quarterback of Arizona State, is apparently been lights out so far running the Lane Kiffin offense. Now you have Lane Kiffin unleashed because what he did at Ole Miss was amazing. It's impossible to win at Ole Miss. That's not a powerhouse college football program. Now you have Lane Kiffin and that offense and that talent bound by nothing. And they went to the portal and they got just about everybody. I think it's going to be a little rocky to start, but I think that you get them in at 10-2, let them go. That's the team I'm really looking out for. If they could just get there, by that time of the season when everything's fully gelled, I think that's the kind of the team. Again, not really outside, not a wacky call because it's LSU, but they're probably a better value overall, and they're outside of the top 5 or 6.
Not buying Alabama this year?
No, I don't. Alabama, Florida State kind of in the same boat for me, where here are two superpowers that should be great. Clemson a little bit as well. I don't see the talent. There was a time when you could look at Alabama's roster and say, okay, there's 10 first rounders. They might be there. They're going to be very, very good. But this is a 3-loss schedule at least. They still have not proven that they have a running game yet. The defense has to be better. And now they're starting new quarterbacks. They're trying to get new parts in the system. And the rest of the SEC has stepped up. The rest of the SEC is very good. And then even the SEC overall is not as good as the top end Big Ten teams of Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana at the moment, I guess, too. But I'm not buying in that they're going to get in and do anything major, but it's Alabama. And if at some point this Kalen DeBoer offense that was at Washington and Fresno State kicks in with a defense, then yeah, it might be pretty interesting. But no, I'm not seeing it compared to the rest of the SEC this year.
Last 30 seconds, last question. Alabama doesn't count for this, but among the top 7-8 teams that we mentioned at the top here, the one where you could see it going awry the quickest?
Texas. Because if they lose to Ohio State right away, you look at the rest of their schedule, it's not going to be easy to finish out without 2 more losses. They're just Oklahoma's fantastic. They could lose just about any of these SEC games. So if they don't beat Ohio State right away, that's a 9-3 team that's going to be on the outside looking in.
Pete Fuitak in nature, the emperor of collegefootballnews.com.
No cicadas from here on, I promise.
I don't think it's a cicada here, but we'll check on that. Thank you, Pete. Appreciate it.
Hey, guys.
I said that earlier to Pete off air. He's like, every year's a cicada year. All this 17-year stuff. It's a myth. Drew Dinsick on the other side. It's a numbers game right here at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back on the numbers game, live from Circle Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Gill Alexander, Kelley, Bydlon.
Yo.
Or as they said on at Ellis Island, Bydlonovich. You're now Bydlon.
Yeah, that was the we were having that conversation with Pete. The Polish names that got chopped in half at Ellis Island. They're like, that's a nightmare. We'll just take the front half.
They were super caring about it at Ellis Island, weren't they? They really were. 3JockH3131 on Twitter. Happy Tuesday, fellas. Gill, tell me the Cubs have a shot at August most wins. I took them at 18-1 since they were your second choice.
Nice.
Yeah, you made the better choice. Second choice better than the first choice. They got a shot. For sure they do. Cubs been playing great baseball since the beginning of June. And again, when I took them in June, they ended up 16-10 in June. I remember incoming. People were like, "You're crazy."
I loved your breakdown for August. On the very awkward Gill on remote guest spot.
Thanks for having me on my own show. Eddie Vegan Runner. I have a patent for matriculate. Can't wait to get paid during guessing lines this year. Cha-ching.
Oh, man.
Harold, yes, you will. Harold Irving, before San Fran, you must have had the great Mexican food at Rudy's in Teal Square, Somerville, Mass. Yeah, I didn't really the thing when I went to school, I wasn't really out in Somerville that much. What do you do? What you do, Kelley, is you cross the Charles River, and then you're in Cambridge, and then you go a little further, and you're in Davis Square.
Really? I actually understood most of that.
Yeah.
Don't you hop on the T at some point?
The T. Transfer at Park, go to Leechmere.
I've told you this before. I'm sure I've told it on air, but my sister went to Tufts, and I will never. My older sister went to Tufts, and I will never forget my father and I moving her in and us taking a break, letting her settle in, and us taking a break. So it's right before fall semester starts. We see the football team out there practicing. We just went and watched practice. My God, it was the most comedic 45 minutes of our lives.
Did you know they were a Division III powerhouse at points?
It was hilarious. I know there were guys out there that were smaller than when I was on my high school football team. It was pretty shocking.
Let me ratchet back Division III powerhouse. They would take down the NESCAC teams, the Amherst Lord Jeffs of the world.
Now, keep in mind, weather wasn't exactly great at the time, but all I remember is the field too. I was like, they really play on this?
Oh yeah,
it's terrible.
It's the one right down by the road over there.
Right, yeah.
Shrek McPhee, what would the Carlitos number be for the U.S. Open if he had played in Cincy? What will the number be after round 2 if he looks like himself? Tennis Twitter looking for any reason to fade per usual.
Great question.
Anything plus money right now will seem absurd in 10 days' time. LFG. I said similar things on Friday, which is yes, absolutely. If you want to, take shots at Feast and Hodar and all those guys, great. But literally within 2 matches, you're going to be thrilled you have Carlos at that number. Can he get to the promised land after 4 months off? We'll see. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you'll be happy to have that. This is from, let's see, Bob L. Taco John's originated Taco Tuesday. Their food is far superior to Taco Bell. It's something I will miss about the Midwest. All right, he's giving Taco John's credit for that.
I believe that was Matt Human's getting a lot of drops today, but I believe Taco John's made the list a couple times.
Oh, you missed this. Oh, did it? On his top 50?
Yeah.
Oh, I never
believe
never
so.
Been. You missed this?
I've never been either.
You missed this when you were gone. Better Brewer, Sky High. Sharif or Charlene don't want Shohei to win MVP, and that's all we need to know. Are you familiar with the Clash's 1982 hit "Rock the Casbah," Kelley?
Yeah, I am.
Can you sing the chorus? What are the words before?
Oh, I have no idea.
Rock the Casbah.
I have no idea.
All right, never mind. For 44 years, I thought it was Charlene. Apparently, it's Sharif. No Emu Doug.
Honestly, now I can kind of hear it in my head, but I never even thought about it. I've never even thought about it.
Charlene makes no sense. I feel so stupid.
Yeah, but, okay, don't feel stupid though, Gill, because how many songs have you done that same thing with over the years?
With such conviction, not many. Like I would have sworn on a Bible.
Like breaking news, there's lyrics in a lot of songs just make no sense.
Well, typically I don't pay attention to lyrics. I'm more of a
no, I know you are
a music guy, but
that's driven me nuts forever.
No Emu Doug, elderly gambler. You're spot on with the MLB MVP voting, Gill. That analysis. Matt Humans has been saying the same thing. The voters are becoming caring, compassionate voters who check Twitter for their info. Stats are for old people.
I mean, that's 49 minutes into the show. Matt Humans' name has been mentioned over 4.5 times.
Humans infiltrating today.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been saying that for 6 weeks now about the whole Pete Crow Armstrong stuff. And about...
well, Shohei, we've been saying it for 3 years. I mean, it's going to always be a factor.
Great minds, though.
Mm-hmm.
Humans on it as well. Chance Copperpot. I searched for this year's Circa Survivor doc on YouTube to catch up and discovered there's a rock band called Circa Survive. I watched a video. Pretty sure no one in the band entered the contest. Wow.
Wait, is it based off the contest? Because that's kind of awesome.
I don't know.
Or was that just random? Sounds like it was just random.
Not sure.
I don't know if you saw last week's episode, but whoo, did me and you take it over the top? Appearances by Gill Alexander and Kelley Bydlon.
Oh, we were on the last episode?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought it went from good to great because of that.
Oh,
yeah.
You're all over it? You thought they stepped up?
It was like at least one notch better than the week before.
What did Matt Brown say? 5 episodes into 7. I guess episode 6 is this week?
Oh, there's only 2 more left?
I think so.
Oh, no, that makes sense because we were talking Thanksgiving last time.
Well, you also got to end it before the season starts, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if the U.S. Open could end their tennis tournament when football starts, maybe the Circuit Survivor doc should end as well. Uncle Bush, did I just hear it's Danny Higgins last week? Are we just going to gloss over that and move on? At least can we acknowledge his over 6,000 career passing yards at Bridgewater State? Listen, I'm not glossing over it. I paid him a little tribute yesterday. We're going to pay him tribute all week long, I guess, with a few words.
Yes, the week of Danny.
Danny.
We are rooting for him, wishing him nothing but the best. He's made a major impact on this show over the past year. Major impact.
Major.
And
more major for Kelley than anybody.
His loss will be felt. We'll put it that way. But I'll look right into this camera. His loss will be felt, okay?
It's killing me. It's awesome. Well, listen, it will affect all of us. It will really affect Kelley.
Yeah. And then you know what I tried to do before the show, Gill? I said, Danny, when are you heading out of town, man? We gotta have one last night out.
We got to do...
no, there's no time. There's no time. He's like, I'm packing up the trunk and I'm getting the hell out of here.
He's going to Montana.
He's
like
racing away from us. Yep.
James Fessler, a college football breakdown with cicada ambiance is infinitely more credible than one with a New York City skyline in the background. Just saying.
That's true. Yeah, facts there.
Yeah. Can't argue with that. And then Elderly Gambler adds, the Big Ten somehow thinks they can pass rules that void court rulings. Who taught these people? Oh, I don't know. Michigan going to pass-fail first semester. So... all going to hell.
That was a depressing conversation yesterday.
You playing any week 3 NFL preseason, sir?
I missed the move yesterday on a couple games.
You don't want to miss the move.
I'm gonna pull these up, but we have we moved. They opened up yesterday when we were on air, which sometimes is nice, sometimes is not, and we're doing stuff part of the show. And by the time I got home and looked at lines, everything that I had circled had already moved. So I don't know that I'm gonna be in on anything. I don't think I have a ton of information yet, either out of these camps. This last week, keep in mind, you brought it up yesterday, right? 3 weeks of preseason now, 3rd week. Teams are going to handle differently, but you would think this is the week that most teams are going to punt the most on.
I got a comment for you. This is one time my buddy Tommy, he always he lets you know that a smart comment's about to come, or at least what he perceives to be an intelligent comment's about to come. I got a comment for you. Going from 4 preseason games to 3. And again, we're not in that camp that says, hey, don't bet preseason. We love betting preseason. If there's an edge, again, I played my 3-team 10-point teasers. Yeah. That got home. You can get ahead of the information in week 1. It's awesome. But isn't there some weird... I've said this for a couple years now. When they went from 4 to 3 preseason games, the net effect for me, and I wouldn't have anticipated this, but in terms of being locked into preseason, is that I fall off the preseason cliff more precipitously than I did when there was 4.
Yeah, there's less games.
It's gone all of a sudden. Yeah. Like, it just as soon as it... So by the time week 3 comes around, I am not locked in. Maybe because tennis, maybe because the U.S. Open's about
There's
to
some
happen.
of that going
so
on,
maybe it's
we have to reset our minds that this is it's 1 week less. That's probably going to be 1 week less for gambling too. Now, what I hate, and I think you hate too, is just we went from 4 to 3, but we're leaving that 1 week.
The week off always trips me out. Yeah, I always I'm like, oh, that's right, we're not playing next week.
I kind of like the Chiefs this week. They're laying a point or a pick 'em with Seahawks coming to town, just like that Chiefs backup quarterback situation. Although the Seahawks have looked very good with their. We were laughing about that Titans game yesterday. Titans rolling out their starters. Seahawks like 2nd unit, 3rd unit, and just carved through the Titans. Yeah, carved through them. Cardinals on the road at the Packers. They're like 2.5-point road favorites, kind of like that one with the Cardinals quarterback situation is, but I have no idea what the Packers are doing yet. So that's one I circled, haven't played. And then the one, Vikings at Broncos. Broncos they closed like 6-point favorites last week and lost outright to the Packers, right? I believe that was who they played. This was one I circled this side. It was like 3 when we were on the show yesterday. I think it's out to 6.5 now with them hosting the Vikings. So I think that one's gone. And then the other one I really liked was the Colts. They are 3.5, 4-point home favorites against the Lions. That was under 3, though, yesterday. So no bets for me, and I don't think I'm going to have any.
Yeah, I genuinely don't think I will this week. I do have one request, though.
What's that?
That's my personal request to the Houston Texans. Can you block for Owen Wright, please, this week?
There you go. Yeah.
Thanks.
Let's get Owen some yards.
Just want to get that in. We'll come back. Drew Dinsick, NFL, tennis. See if he has any tennis left in Monterey or Winston-Salem today. Some U.S. Open thoughts. And in a baseball stat last night, a baseball record was set. Hard to believe. Talk about that. It's a numbers game at VSiN.